13 things about Hitler you didn't know. Hitler had photographer Heinrich Hoffmann take photographs of him making glorious speeches. Fortunately for us, despite being told to destroy the photographs, Hoffmann did not, and included them in his memoir instead. Hitler was out of control in general, but biographer Ulrich recently uncovered that the Führer spent thousands on opulence, cars, champagne, clothes, etc., whilst pretending to be a man of the people. What didn't he spend his money on? Well, it was probably income tax. Hitler was once ordered to trim his moustache. Hitler's preferred moustache style was actually out of the handlebar variety, trimmed in his own inimitable way. Unfortunately, he was told to remove it so that his gas mask would fit on him, which didn't work anyway. He was gassed in 1918 and temporarily blinded. Hitler was a big fan of Walt Disney. Whilst Disney cartoons represent kids' films and family to us, the evil dictator, it represented the advance of technology, since Snow White boasted some pretty impressive animation. Rumour has it he also felt strongly for King Kong because of its special effects, and watched both that and war films repeatedly. Hitler's obsession with Wagner began eons before World War II. At the age of 12, Hitler stumbled upon Wagner and never looked back. Writing in Mein Kampf that he was addicted after attending the opera, Hitler reportedly skipped school to attend operas well into his teens and remained a fan. Bizarrely, rumour has it that Hitler bred an army of talking dogs. According to Dr. Jan Bonderson, Hitler and his henchmen rounded up clever dogs with whom they communicated through tapping paws, barking and wagging their tails, and even got one to bark Meine Führer. These dogs were supposedly helped to win the war, which makes a bit of sense considering Hitler was heavily attached to his dogs Blondie and Bella. The former he killed before killing himself. I don't know why, or but what the dog had done wrong. Hitler was a vegetarian who was diligent about food testing. Hitler was paranoid, so paranoid in fact that he employed food testers, who on one side got to enjoy the creme de la creme of German cuisine during a time when the rest of the population was rationed and starving. On the other, after an attempted assassination attempt, he kept his food tasters imprisoned. Hitler had to live in a homeless shelter for a while. Like many Austrians, Hitler began to get attracted to German nationalist ideas from an early age. His father died when he was 14, and Hitler's performance at school dropped. 2 years later, he changed school and enrolled at a school in Austria. After giving a repeat, he passed the final school exams. His mother died of breast cancer at the age of 47, and at the age of 18 to 19 he was twice rejected admission into the Fine Arts Academy and was declared unfit for painting. Whilst in Vienna, he tried to make a living out of selling his paintings, but due to lack of resources, he ran out of money pretty soon. Hitler kept moving from one place to another as his savings gradually diminished from his lifestyle. In December 1909, he was half-starved and freezing and had to live in a homeless shelter in Vienna, and whenever he sold a painting, he would occasionally spend the night in men's hostels. He then moved into a public dormitory for men in Vienna and lived there for 3 years, until 1913, when he received his father's inheritance and moved to Munich. Hitler later stated his goal for a greater Germany. However, he was Austrian by birth, and from a young age he longed to be part of the German Empire and despised the Austrian-Hungarian Empire and its monarchy. He had formally renounced his Austrian citizenship in April 1925, but did not obtain German citizenship immediately. He became stateless, facing the risk of deportation, and was unable to run for public office. Interior Minister of Brunswick State in Germany was a member of the National Nazi Party. He appointed fellow party member Hitler as an administrator for the state in 1932. Thus Hitler became a citizen of Brunswick. One of Hitler's hobbies was whistling When You Wish Upon a Star. Hitler reportedly relaxed by whistling tunes including When You Wish Upon a Star from Snow White. He entertained dinner guests by whistling and performing the hobby in moments of euphoria, such as following the fall of Paris. Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Wolf was also one of his favourite tunes, due to the wolf being his nickname. Hitler was temporarily blinded at least once in a gas attack. Hitler was temporarily blinded in a mustard gas attack on his camp in October 1915. He was hospitalised in Pays Walk in Germany, and while there he learned of Germany's defeat and armistice with Britain and France. He reportedly said that he had suffered second temporary blindness upon hearing such horrifying news for the Germans. Research has suggested that Hitler suffered from a number of diseases, including Parkinson's disease. Some described him as a neurotic psychopath. Parkinson's disease is a degenerative disorder of the central nervous system that affects the movement, memory, thinking and behaviour of the patient. It is reported that for the last 11 years of his life, Hitler suffered from mental and physical symptoms of the Parkinson's disease. Some historians argued that his decision-making was affected during World War II due to his possible dementia. Hitler never visited a concentration camp. Most of the 11 million Jews and other minorities killed during the Holocaust by Hitler's Nazis were murdered at the 1,200 Nazi camps. The first camp was established in 1933, immediately after Hitler became Chancellor of the party. The first camps were initially used to hold and torture union organisers and political opponents. During World War II, these became the places where millions of people and so-called radically undesirable minorities were enslaved and used as forced labour, tortured and then beaten in mass numbers. Hitler never visited a single camp. Though most of the camps were built in the East, still it is a surprising fact. The distance Hitler kept between himself and the killing has actually fueled the claims made by Nazis that Hitler was not responsible. Hitler was selected Time magazine's Man of the Year. Hitler, Chamberlain, French Prime Minister Daladier and Mussolini attended a one-day conference in Munich in September 1938. Prime Minister Chamberlain appeased Hitler and convinced British and French politicians to accept some of Hitler's territorial claims in exchange for the assurance of no further aggression from Germany in an agreement called the Munich Agreement.